Big League today, a little earlier than usual. Knowsley Road has a 12:30 kick-off here for their big occasion of the season. Wigan's title ambitions hanging by a thread. Now let's meet our local hero. That, isn't it, the Isle of Man, beautiful. That was Vinty's garden he was walking in there. Now, Bill Arthur was our reporter across the water in the Isle of Man. And Bill, I think I'm right in saying that when you journeyed over there, you picked up a little bit of the local lingo, didn't you?
Fastyr mai as Failure Gus Sky Sports, which I'm told is Manx Gaelic for good afternoon and welcome to Sky Sports. Although this being April Fool's Day, they probably told me something completely different. Welcome to Knowsley Road. Quite a few photographers here for this one. Not surprising, because this really is a big game, one of the biggest crowds of the season, and a lot at stake here this afternoon. And Wigan go into this game after a week of turmoil behind the scenes at the club. There's been a lot of intrigue from what we hear, and a fairly stormy board meeting at which questions were asked about the job that coach John Dorahay was doing and about his future. And interestingly, this week, Dean Bell was promoted to the job of assistant coach with role as team motivator. Now, some people are wondering just where that leaves John Dorahay, but surely Wigan, desperate for the points, need no motivating for this game, and neither, for that matter, do St Helens.
Well, we owe them a lot over the years, but yeah, we do owe them one from Boxing Day. They'll give us a hammer in that day, and hopefully we can return the favour.
And they'll go into this game maybe a little bit shaky, having lost the last two, because now they're getting desperate, aren't they?
Well, I think they're going to come into this game more fired up than in any other game they've played, because, as you said, they've lost two games, and they seem to have dropped back now on the old run-in for the championship with Bradford and with Warrington being up there now. So they'll come in doubly fired up, but we've just got to go out there and try and get rid of our semi-final performance and come up with a win.
I can't speak for St Helens, but from Wigan's point of view, we're in a do-or-die situation, I suppose. This game and Monday's game against Warrington being critical to our chances of winning the championship, so we know we've just got to win it in a way. It's like a cup final.
It's a pretty unusual position for Wigan to find themselves in, isn't it?
Yeah, over the last few years we've had the luxury of being able to, maybe drop a couple of games in the run into the end of the season, but this time now I think, we need to win all the remaining games, and they're all very hard games as well. So, as I said, this game is a cup final. If we don't win this, then we needn't look no further.
It's going to be my first derby, so obviously the lads will let me know what I'm in for, but I've watched a few on Sky before, and they look very hard and very physical, so it'd be nice to get a get a win over Wigan and get rid of Saturday's take.
Are you expecting it to be a totally different game than some of the others you've experienced?
Yeah, I've played in a few days, but never one as big as this. You know, this is the ultimate derby in rugby league, as all the players have been telling me. So I think it'll be very similar to Saturday's game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's no point in just thinking about what has gone. It's what is coming up that we've got to think about. We've got to knuckle down in training this week and think about one thing, and that is getting the 2 points against St Helens, and not Wembley game or the week after against Warrington. We just got to get there and get the job done.
But do you think that the title is still yours?
No, we never think that. You should never think that, because if you start resting on your laurels, it's gonna slip away from you. Like I said before, you've just got to take each game as it comes. St Helens are going to try, take the 2 points off us, and Bradford want us to slip up, or Warrington want us to slip up. In fact, all the league and everybody in general wants us to slip up. But we stick together. We're a close-knit team. We stick together. We help each other, and we're just going to help each other to get through all this.
This is quite a day for those players. It's quite a day for the fans, and quite a day for the coaches also, and particularly for Eric Hughes, in charge of St Helens for the first time in a local derby against local rivals Wigan, and of course a man who has to try and lift the spirits in the Saints camp after that Challenge Cup semi-final exit last Saturday.
The league is so well designed nowadays that it doesn't give you time to sulk. If you're not fighting against relegation, you're fighting for a top 8 spot. If you're in the top 8, you're fighting for a top 4, and if you're in the top 4, you're aiming to win it. So there's always something to go for, and we still hold at this moment in time the Premiership trophy, and I'm sure none of the lads will want to give it up easily. It adds an extra bit of spice that it's obviously Wigan. All the players know just what it means to our supporters to try and get one over the old enemy, and it means that we can't sulk about last week's defeat. We'll take a lot of pride in the way we played. We missed our chances. We'll try and put that right against Wigan, and we just hope for the same level of performance, really. And as I say, if we can get 2 points and turn Wigan over, it will be a good day for our supporters.
This season's been one of transition, one of turmoil with injuries, if you like, and no excuses, no reasons, but it's been a tough year, and we've done it on the park on different occasions, and we've been just winning at different times, and that's all the side has to do. As long as you get the result, well, then it's you beaut. There's been plenty of critics out there about the type of football we've been playing. I don't believe it's been that much different to previous years anyway. It's just that the playing staff is a hell of a lot different to last season.
You've got senior pros who've been through all this before. Are you maybe looking to them in these closing weeks to pull things together, help you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the experienced guys are lending their hand and trying to coax the younger guys along and help them out. Certainly Dennis Betson, Phil Clarkson, Dean Bells, these guys who have been missing for a lot of the season, have been pulling their weight and trying to help the club to achieve the results they're after, and this week will be no different.
Well, it was quite a day, wasn't it, 12 months ago for poor old Kevin Ward. He hasn't played since he was carried off with a broken leg at Central Park, and he's a very popular figure here at Knowsley Road. Looks like the end of the road, though, for his career, unfortunately. A great loss to St Helens, great loss to the game, but good to see him back on 2 feet and walking round this ground, wasn't it? Steve-O, let's take a look at the prospects in a bit more detail now. I think it's important, you will say, that Tia Rapati is playing standoff for St Helens today, because you are one of these people who believes that 6 is Rapati's best position.
Without doubt. I thought that playing him in the centre is a waste, because the defence can allow him to run out wide and use the touchline as a friend. Put him in the middle of the park, you don't know which side he's going to go. He's got a great step, he's got great upper body strength, and to me, number 6 is the best spot. It'll be interesting to see how he works with Tommy Martin. Tommy Martin did a damn good job last week in the semi-final. He's a classy player, but I think the combination will be a lot better today. I think Martin and Rapati will really fire, but they'll have to.
Well, they will, because it's Botica and Edwards on the other side. We've already mentioned this afternoon Sean Edwards, 11 tries in 10 years against Saints. He's not the most popular player anywhere, but probably more than ever here. They don't like him.
I know they don't like him. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care. He knows he's a professional, and he's a great professional. As far as I'm concerned, he's one of the great players of the modern day. But we saw last week, and we've been seeing it over the past few weeks, when Edwards fires, he has to have people running off him. And he does not have the support that he's had in the past. If they can get that right, we mentioned earlier that the forwards have not been moving. They have not been going with the same power. I think we'll see a different Wigan pack today. You know what it's like in these derby games, and I think we'll see some explosive stuff, especially in the early part of the game.
Well, it's a match that we always enjoy bringing to you here on Sky Sports Big League, and I'm sure that today will be no exception. We've had some classic encounters in the past, and this, I'm sure, is going to be another one. A big crowd building up here at Knowsley Road, over 20,000 inside the ground, we reckon, by 12:30.
You're watching Sky Sports.
For the thick-cut chip with the big potato taste, there's nothing like the real McCoy.
I invited the neighbors over. Think they'll come?
They'll come.
The real McCoy. The big chip from the big country.
Do you like the fresh fragrance of spring in everything you wash? We've captured it for you in the fragrant fabric softener that goes into bold spring fresh. Or maybe you prefer the evocative fragrance of a summer meadow. If you do, you'll be pleased to hear we've captured that too. New bold summer meadow fresh or spring fresh. Now there's a choice of freshness for your wash.
Here's the answer to everything you want from a car. A car built with passion. Fiat presents the new Fiat Punto. Designed with more space, more safety, and more flair. Fiat Punto. The answer.
Oh, I say, Mrs. I'll have some plum fun with this little lot. You've got a leak here, see? And a fish. Well, hey, round we go, son. Ah, lovely, Julie.
Everything okay?
Oh, I'd love a cuppa.
Turn bath time into laugh time with Matchbox.
Soul Devotion. The very best of heart and soul. 36 soul classics on one great value double album. With over 30 top 10 hits, including 7 #1s. Dina Carroll, Lionel Richie, Dinah Ross, Whitney Houston, and more. Soul Devotion, out now.
Pop duo Gail and Gillian use Head and Shoulders.
Obviously, our image is important to us, so we make sure our hair is in great shape. So dandruff would not be a good look. Oh, definitely not. But I discovered Head and Shoulders in my bathroom. Not only does it get rid of dandruff, but the rich, creamy lather really takes care of your hair. So now my hair always looks almost as good as mine. I better get my own.
Head and Shoulders. Forget dandruff, have beautiful hair.
I'm Duncan MacLeod, of the Clan MacLeod.
The challenge has begun.
You and me. Now,
the Highlander has arrived.
The last one will have the power of all the immortals where to live. Can't stay out of the game, though.
And for the immortals, only one thing is certain.
There can be only one.
Highlander, the series, Easter Sunday at 9, following Deep Space Nine only on Sky One.
Seize the day.
It's a fiercely windy afternoon here at Knowsley Road. They did have an inflatable, a giant inflatable out here on the pitch. They quickly took that down when it almost set off for Yorkshire. And the wind, I think, is going to play a big part in this afternoon's game. The conditions, all told, are not particularly ideal, although the forecast is that we're going to have a few showers, although at the moment it's dry and sunny. The wind from the west, 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusting at maybe up to 50 miles an hour. The temperature of 9 degrees, but it feels a lot colder than that. The computerized turnstiles a few minutes ago said that there were 12,000 in the ground. The atmosphere is really going to be cooking for this one.
Yes, a big game for St Helens and Tia Rapati wearing number 6. A try in the 41-6 win here last season. A try and 2 goals in the Charity Shield against Wigan at the start of that campaign. 6 New Zealand caps for Tia Rapati. And Wigan come in to a vital match for them. It is 6 years since they last lost 3 in a row. Gary Connolly comes back to Knowsley Road for the first time since his £250,000 move from St Helens to Wigan. Had a great career here at Knowsley Road and now carving out a big reputation for himself not far away at Central Park. Quite an ordeal for the young man. Quite an ordeal for both these sides. And let's take a check for you on the St Helens team. Lyon, Riley, Hunt, Lachlan, Sullivan, Rapati and Martin. And the forwards, Dannett, Dwyer, Mann, Joint, Pickavance and Cooper, the captain. And let's mention also the substitutes, Phil Vivers, the Australian, and John Harrison. You won't miss him, he's 6'7" tall. Sean Edwards, the Wigan captain. He has quite a record of scoring tries against the arch rivals. Edwards, 34 international caps, taking his place in this Wigan team as the captain. Aitchison, Robinson, Mather, Connolly, Afire, Botica and Edwards. The forwards, Skerritt, Dermott, Platt, Cassidy, Farrell and Clark. And 2 internationals on the bench, the Kiwi Sam Panapa and the Great Britain international Neil Cowie. Match referee, 30-year-old Russell Smith from Castleford. It's his 3rd season in the big league. He had charge of Wembley last May and must be in the running again to take charge of the Showpiece Challenge Cup final on the 30th of this month. So they come no bigger than this in the Stones Bidder Championship. It's St Helens against Wigan. Wigan's championship ambitions hang by the slenderest of threads. And the sun streaming down on a cold and blustery Good Friday afternoon. And Wigan know the next 80 minutes are vital as Botica gets this game underway. Early touch for Paul Lachlan, who will run it back, and Skerritt comes driving in.
Well, we anticipated it was going to be tough, and you can see that the Wigan defence, the forwards in particular, they mean business. You mentioned vital 80 minutes for Wigan. Tell you what, these opening 10, that will set the seal for this game.
Dannett plays the ball to Dwyer. That was a knock-on, but the referee has pulled Wigan back. They're all offside at that play of the ball. It wasn't a knock-on. It was a rather dodgy play of the ball by Dannett, wasn't it?
Wasn't the best play of the ball, but you can see there's quite a few of the Wigan defenders that the referee Russell Smith could choose from. That just shows you how eager this Wigan side is. They mean business. They want to get involved early.
Tommy Martin missed out George Mann, found Shane Cooper. This is Andy Dannett. Cooper today notice wearing a head guard. Dwyer normally does. He isn't. Chris Joint with that run. This is Dwyer and there's Cooper. This is Pickavance. 2 tall men in the second row for St Helens, Pickavance and Joint. Dwyer to Martin, to Rapati, Lachlan chiming in, and Lachlan all wrapped up by Barry John Mather.
Good tackle there by John Mather, got right involved early, ball and all.
Dwyer, they will attack down the right-hand side, the chip over the top has bounced off Platt, and what a start for Saints! Bernard Dwyer with the try! What a start! It bounced off Andy Platt, and Bernard Dwyer try number 7. What a valuable 4 points.
The first time that Dwyer has set himself off from dummy half position. They held back, the little kid came off Platt's shoulder, and the man followed up
What a great try. What a start, but this is the first time that he took the run, and it's the first time that Wigan's second marker left him alone, and he followed up to score a vital 4 points. Super play. You can see how much room he had. They held back Cassidy and Platt, just expecting the kick from perhaps Rapati, who'd positioned himself out wide.
Well, they're singing on the terraces at Knowsley Road now because of Bernard Dwyer's try. And the wind is causing havoc for the goal kicker, Tommy Martin. It's blown over twice, and he has called in Alan Hunt to just keep hold of the ball at the top. But this is an important kick for Martin. That's the angle that he has. Kicked well in the semi-final last week. And it drifts in on the wind. It looked for a moment like it was going to go wide. All the crowd underneath us gasped in horror, but it went between the woodwork. What a start for the Saints.
You can see that Connolly, the Harrod, is walking backwards, and the two other Wigan players, they were well back. Allowed Dwyer all the time there. Okay, a little bit of lady luck went his way, but you've got to play for it, and he got it.
So, Wigan looking down the barrels. 3.5 minutes gone, trailing 6-0. St Helens with just the start they wanted. Loughlin plays the ball to Dwyer. Here is Sullivan.
Pretty important first touch of the ball there for Sullivan. Under a lot of pressure this week for bombing that try against Leeds in the semi-final. And I expect a big game from Tony Sullivan this afternoon.
Saints keeping the ball alive. Cooper picks himself up. Dwyer's there again. The diagonal runner was Riley. Cassidy missed him. Mather got him. Here's Dwyer again. Now Dannett. Clash with Dermott. Breaks through. That's good play. But it's a knock-on that's gone against St Helens. Joint cannot believe it.
Good break by Dannett there. He made the half break, and you can see the support play there. And as a second rower, Chris Joint, he realised that the centre, Gary Connolly, was honing in upon him. Just took his eyes off the ball just for a split second. It was enough.
Wigan are going to have the ball in their possession for the first time with Botica. And now Mather on the diagonal run. Important that Wigan snap back quickly. Platt with the drive. And there's a picture of a man under pressure, John Dorahy, the Wigan coach. But holding down in the tackle. Penalty against St Helens.
Good refereeing there by Russell Smith. Interference at the play of the ball, pulling the man down, not allowing Wigan to get a fast play of the ball. That's been the advantage of St Helens in his opening 5 minutes. They played the ball extremely quickly, and you can see the St Helens defence trying to prevent Wigan doing that.
Referee wanting St Helens to get back the full 10. It stopped Skerritt in his tracks. Now Skerritt will have a run at Dannett, but that's good play from Dannett. He met him face to face. Dannett coming into this match on the back of a big game in the semi-final, and Platt and Skerritt not making the inroads into this St Helens defence so far.
It's going to be a great contest between the prop forwards. Skerritt and Platt, Dannett and Mann. They don't come any rougher and tougher than those.
That was Farrell's run. Andy Platt on his way to Auckland at the end of the season. Will he go with a medal or will he not? O'Fire. Great cheer every time O'Fire is brought to ground anywhere in the big league. Rapati with that tackle. This now is Phil Clark back in the Wigan side. He's missed the last 10. It's the last tackle for Wigan. They're 10 metres away with Edwards. Scampering run from Edwards. And will St Helens hold him up over the line? Yes, they will. Edwards couldn't ground the ball. Lyon did well.
Super attack from Edwards. He saw that the defence was hanging back with a full back. David Lyon, full credit, held him up there, but only just. And a swinging arm.
Penalty to St Helens, a swinging arm in the first of their set of 6.
Lack of composure there, and good thinking by David Lyon. This is a very strong wind.
And he breaks through the tackle of Botica. It's a great run from Lyon. He's tracked by O'Fire. Riley's there. He has got to get through Mather and Edwards. Did that ball get knocked out by Edwards? Referee says play on. And he hasn't wiped the tackle count clean. But what a Cooper to Rapati. Rapati all wrapped up by Gary Connolly, finished off by Platt.
And it had to be. There was men outside. He took the gamble in the centre, Connolly, to close him down. But what a great break from David Lyon. That unsung the Saints.
Coming into this match on the back of that bitter disappointment in the semi-final. But at the moment it looks like they've put it behind them. Dwyer on the 20-metre zone. This is Dannett, Farrell and Cassidy, the two young men in the second row, bring him down. The ball is with Martin, and Martin with the drop goal. It's drop goal number 17 of the season for St Helens.
Super stuff from Martin. Well, they learned the lesson from their loss last week to Leeds. So much pressure, they went away with nothing. This time they mean business. This is the break that set up the position to get the 1 point. What a beautiful break from David Lyon. Wigan, the defence, I'm afraid, is flat. They're going far too high. You see two players there going for the chest rather than the legs, and they are going to pay the price unless they rectify that quickly.
7-0 St Helens, the number 7 Martin with that 1-pointer. His 8th drop goal of the season. St Helens on now 17 1-pointers for this campaign. Loughlin with the strong run. And St Helens are taking the game to the champions. That look forward. Cooper's not arguing about it. This is Dwyer backing up. Saints are running riot. Aitchison. Good tackle from him, and it had to be.
Super play from Cooper and Dwyer together. And Edwards lashed out with the boot there at Dwyer as he played the ball.
Well, the St Helens crowd won't be able to believe what they're seeing here. This is a tremendous opening stanza from Saints. Cooper to man. Thought about releasing the ball. Took the tackle in the end from Cassidy. Oh, and the little use of the elbow there by man on Clark as he got up. This is Rapati. Throws a wild pass out. It's bouncing all over the place. Edwards is looking for it, but that's good play from Pickavants. And it goes round Cassidy too.
Well, I can't believe the amount of Wigan players that are going high rather than taking the man with the ball by the legs. Pickavants is hurt. It's a pretty hard tackle. You can see the leg going across from Cassidy.
And it was the second man in, Andy Platt, I think, who caught him.
Amazing thing is that in Australia, that tackle is now banned. You have to get two hands before you can put the leg across.
Here's more pressure from St Helens on Wigan. A good, high, deep kick. And the charge was led by Hunt. And so close to another try there, Cooper. But he has been pulled back. It's a penalty.
Not square at the play of the ball. He cannot believe it. Well, what pressure, and a quick tap from Wigan. Barry John Mather realising also that the wind is swirling. But Wigan are on the rack, and Saints are playing superb football. They're playing the ball so quickly, and they're catching this Wigan defence out.
Dermott. Skerritt is there. He breaks through the first line of defence and can't keep his feet. Lyon just finishes him off. Now Wigan, they must start playing this ball quicker. Here's Clark. Will take him perhaps a bit of time to find his feet again in the big league after so long out.
Well, there you see the St Helens players just laying all over Wigan, and they don't seem interested to get the men off.
Knock on by Mather under no pressure.
Well, a simple pass out wide. He's tall enough to take those. You mentioned the word pressure, and that's exactly what it is. But I just cannot believe that Wigan, the man was tackled with a football, and he just laid there, allowing the St Helens players to lay on top of it. If he'd have struggled, it would have been a penalty.
This is the way Mather was injured. Watch for Cooper coming in very late here, and the knees, I think, catch him.
It's all happening. Certainly went in late, didn't he, Cooper? Got away with it, though. No love lost between these two sides.
Wigan under pressure, beaten at Hull and Sheffield last week. 7-0 down here at Nosey Road. Loughlin with the pass out wide to Sullivan. It was behind the winger. He didn't have much chance.
Well, what on earth has happened to the centre, Paul Loughlin? The confidence had just gone. It was a beautiful run round that Rapati set Laughlin through the gap. He made the gap and then decided at the last minute to go into it.
And the problems are mounting for Wigan because Andy Farrell took a knock early on. It looks as though he took a knock on the knee, and Neil Cowie has come straight on and into the action. So already Wigan have had to make one change. They've got Sam Panapa warming up as well.
So, things getting from bad to worse for Wigan. Meanwhile, the touch judge is on and wants a word with Russell Smith. The referee separating the two marauding packs of forwards, with Skerritt's up there in the scrum, isn't he? And they look like a short, sharp right, Steve-O.
Not just one, there was quite a few. Right in front of the touch judge. They didn't allow him to get his head down in the scrum. And I can tell you that Skerritt just was not parting the hair of the opposite number, Andy Dannett. Well, a lack of control, I'm afraid.
And he's in the bin. Well, I'm sure that was a yellow card, but Skerritt is heading to the dressing room. And now he's wheeling back towards the bench. For a moment, the Wigan supporters will have missed a beat with their hearts because they thought that Skerritt had been sent off, but the card was yellow for this.
Well, you can see clearly that he's swinging arms. He made contact. Touch judge was happy with that as Sly grin to the crowd. They love him, don't they?
They do at Central Park. Elsewhere, it's a debate. So Tommy Martin, the wind obviously at his back, and it falls over just as he begins his run to take this penalty.
Quite ironic there, Eddie, some of the St. Helens fans chanting out Superman, Superman. Skerritt.
A reference to his Swallows leap into a small argument against Featherstone not too long ago. The ball will not stay on the sand, will it? But you saw the angle that Martin has. He's 10 metres in from that touchline. It's got a chance, but it just fades. The important thing is, though, that the ball went dead and St. Helens will get it back immediately.
Wouldn't be happy with that, Tommy Martin. Knows how important it is, those extra 2 points. Even though Saints leading 7-0 just after 12 minutes. But what a lot of pressure that Wigan have had to soak up.
By the way, one or two newcomers to the game might have noticed there that St. Helens got that penalty at the scrum and they were allowed to kick. That's because the penalty was given for foul play. It wasn't a scrum offence. Had it would have been a differential penalty. They would have had to kick for touch.
Oh, bad mistake there by George Mann. He was virtually looking for the runaround, set up the move, spilled the ball. It's all pressure. We said before the game, a lot is at stake for different reasons. Saints have to show they still got the class. Wigan desperate for 2 points.
And Wigan can't break through this defensive line of St. Helens, and look at the possession after just a quarter of an hour. Wigan now have a penalty for offside.
Pulling the man away to play the ball, interference. He was pulled away to one side as he played that ball. Well, loss of control, it's so important. We've seen Wigan give away 2 silly penalties that have allowed St. Helens to get back into the Wigan half. Now we see the boot on the other foot.
So Wigan in possession, and with a 73-27 count against them in possession, but they've turned their possession into points. Edwards with the try. That's the first time Wigan broke through. Clark with the pass inside. Edwards sniffing again for the chance. And that's try number 12 against Saints in 10 years.
Welcome back, Phil Clark. One of the few occasions that Wigan played the ball quickly. Nice little dummy run from Dermot, from the Dermot halfback. And Clark Beautiful pass to the man who backs up all day, Shaun Edwards. Look at this. This is how to run onto a foul. Beautiful pass over the top of the referee. Good refereeing there by Russell Smith. Got out of the way. He ducked down, and the result is 4 points that soon surely will be 6.
Shaun Edwards, the Wigan captain. His 10th of the season, 12th in 10 years against St Helens. And just what Wigan, the champions, needed to settle those nerves down. It's 7-4, Botica from bang in front. Now, he's not kicked a penalty or a conversion for 2 matches. He's bang in front this time, and there again, the ball just flops off the sand. It is going to be a real problem for the goal kickers today. Botica from bang in front, 2 extra points for Wigan, and it's now 7-6 to Saints. The difference between the two, that Martin drop goal.
Dermot runs at the angle. Beautiful man, and then you can come away. You'll see that Clark is in support.
So Saints restart, and Martin keeps it low underneath the wind. And here's Cassidy. And now again, Cassidy making inroads. He has had a great season, Nick Cassidy. Travelling reserve for Great Britain against the French. Here's Aitchison, who is starting to grow in confidence at fullback also.
Talking of confidence, that really would have lifted the Wigan spirits. To see Phil Clark back on the field is one thing, but when he makes the break to get the try, and listen to the crowd at Connolly's return.
The ball went backwards. The referee says play on. Yes, they're giving him a bit of a roasting on the terraces, Gary Connolly. For so long a hero here at St Helens, but he committed the cardinal sin. He transferred to Wigan. Edwards to Platt.
Pretty high. Shane Cooper, the culprit, hit the ball first, and then George Mann went in, gave him a facial to add to the big man's discomfort.
Mather takes the tap penalty and runs it. Dermot. Clark is there, so too is Botica. Dermot the dummy half. Robinson. Dancing, scampering Jason Robinson. Couldn't get through that time. Dermot the acting halfback. Platt is the runner. Drags Wigan onto the 20-metre line. Edwards, score of the try. Botica, who kicked the goal. Connolly.
Just overrun it then, did Connolly. The run-around move, he came too early.
Edwards slants the kick across. The speedsters are there. And Sullivan is there for St Helens. He had to pat it dead.
No doubt about the magic from Edwards. It was a beautiful little kick. Look at that.
Saints took a very, very short kick from underneath their own posts. They get the possession back. And then they have the penalty for ankle tapping.
Well, what a bad mistake by Wigan. The defence expecting the long kick, and it was just a little short one. No one was looking to it. Look, everybody's got the back to it. That is a cardinal sin. That is schoolboy stuff.
Saints in possession when really they should have been and could have been defending. But good thinking. That ball comes out and was stolen. Penalty St Helens. Dwyer had the ball pinched from him.
You can see that from Connolly. That is just lack of discipline. That is the third occasion in the first 20 minutes that Wigan have given away silly penalties.
Here come the Saints again then. Sullivan dumped to the floor by Dermot, and Cowie, the substitute, on for the injured Farrell, and Cowie wouldn't get away from Sullivan, and so the referee is blown for the penalty.
Well, Cowie claiming that he's been held by the jumper. Looked towards the touch judge and said, can't you see? Referee could. Vital chance now to add 2 extra points. And how important, perhaps, Eddie, will that 1 point be at the end of the game?
It'll be very interesting, won't it? Martin with the drop goal, and now he has this penalty attempt. Skerritt, by the way, preparing to return from his 10 minutes in the sin bin as Martin takes this penalty and misses. That shows you the problems being caused by this wind today. It stays at 7-6.
Not only the problem, it shows you the inconsistency and the lack of confidence in Paul Loughlin. He only had 1 kick attempt in the semi-final, lost his confidence, gave it to Tommy Martin, and is not electing even to kick on this game.
Change this time at St Helens, who'll have to make the substitution. George Mann hobbling off and Big John Harrison coming on. And George Mann's only just come back after injury. He's had a recurrence, it looks as though, of that injury problem. So John Harrison up front for St Helens.
George Mann was fit enough to play in the semi-final, but he's lasted only a quarter of this match. And Harrison, 6'7", tackled there by 6'6" Barry John Mather, the 2 biggest players in terms of size in the big league. Dannett plays the ball to Dwyer, who finds Martin and now Cooper. He gets the ball out wide to Loughlin. Skerritt returns from his 10 minutes in the bin. Martin, the runner is Pickavants.
Much better defence there from Wigan, and who is it but Phil Clark, going low.
Little dink over the top from Martin. Aitchison is there, sweeps up on his own line. Hunt came steaming in. Aitchison is wrestled to the floor by Riley. Stays in the field of play, though. He is afire.
Clever little kick across the face of the goal mouth. Super stuff, applying the pressure.
Robinson, no way through for him. Dannett was in there, so too Pickavants. Wigan trapped 10 metres from their own line at the moment. There's another tackle gone, this time on Botica. That's number 4. Dermott to Platt. Platt is hauled down. That's the last tackle. That's good defence from St Helens. Edwards, he'll have to kick it. And it catches in the wind. Doesn't get too much length on that. Riley picks it up.
That's going to be the problem for Wigan this first half. They can't use a long kicking game, that's for sure. St Helens, though, electing to run at them rather than use the kick. And they're finding the gaps.
Let's hear from George Mann, off injured. He's with Bill.
George, is that a recurrence of the injury problem?
No, it's just a recurrence of a dead leg on my shin, so it's come all right now, so hopefully I'll be back on.
It's a pretty fast and furious first 20 minutes of this game, isn't it?
Well, these derbies are always like that, and you know, we're just trying to assert authority at the moment, but we've just got to start getting smarter and acting clever.
You made a terrific start.
Yes, so that's what we needed to do, and you know, we'll take all the points we can to start against Wigan, and hopefully it'll make up for it in the end.
St Helens here on the last tackle. Martin just clips it up into the air. O'Fire is there. Mather would have picked that up and been offside. He couldn't touch it, so Riley has it back, and Saints have 6 more.
Great play from the kicker, Tommy Martin. He ran forward and put everyone onside.
The volume's up on the terraces. There's another penalty against Wigan. Hacking at the ball before it hit the ground.
There you can see it.
Oh, and he took a nasty crack on the ankle, did Mike Riley also.
Second occasion in this game. Swinging leg before the ball has been placed on the ground. This is a drop, but you can see Martin had run past everybody. That allowed the centre, Alan Hunt, to be onside and apply the pressure. If the kicker had not run in front, then Alan Hunt, who was stood in front, would have been classed as offside. But when the kicker does run past all his players, then they have every right to make an attempt and regain possession of the football.
It's 1 from 3 for Martin. This time he finds the mark, drifts it in on that wind. That's 2 from 4. 9-6 to St Helens. The goal kicking which cost Saints so dearly in the semi-final, but not so today. But this is the reason the penalty was given.
Yes, you could see that the man's hand was underneath the ball. In other words, he had not made an attempt to place it on the ground. The ball has to be placed on the ground before either halfback is allowed to strike with the foot.
So Edwards penalised, and Wigan go 2 points further behind. It's 9-6. Cooper able to pick up. And Cowie got a stray arm of Cooper there, but the referee has said it's a knock-on against the St Helens captain. And I must say, Steve, on a fashion note, I don't like the headgear.
No, you could see there a bit of a facial from Cassidy, and there was definitely interference.
Botica trying to break through. Cooper recovers from the facial that he was given to make the tackle. Here's Mather. Connolly to Clark.
This is where the kick is useful for Wigan now. Of course, with a strong wind, it will blow the ball back, and there's an awful mistake.
But the touch judge is on. The touch judge came streaming on then as soon as that the ball was played.
Well, there's a knock-on in the second attempt. He made a meal of it. But rightly so. Well, I can't see anything on the replay that intimated there was any interference from Andy Dannett. Touch judge says there was.
And he wants a word with Dannett. Wigan, who knocked on, he was using the knee apparently, and Wigan have the penalty. So Dannett penalised, a chance here for Botica. And Saints are anxious to make another change. Pickavance is coming off, and Phil Vivers goes on while Botica prepares to take this penalty. Vivers, who had a big game from substitute in the semi-final last week, certainly got one vote in the press's poll for man of the match.
I wondered who that was.
But Dannett looking on here, and this is the reason why the penalty was given. Clark is the man grounded. Harrison's there, and there's the knee in the kidneys of Phil Clark. Eagle-eyed touch judge. Didn't miss that one.
Well done as well. We can do without that. Loss of composure again there. Andy Dannett allowing Wigan the chance to drag back this 3-point lead that Saints have.
Well, every kick that has been taken has needed another player to hold the ball steady. It's not ideal conditions for goal kickers, and Botica proves that point by missing another. Botica, the boot, is not kicking terribly well in the past 3 games, although the conditions are awful for them today.
Well, we'll see how strong the wind is with this kick downfield.
To 10 metres from the Wigan line, and it's collected by Phil Clark. I wonder if he's timed his return to the Wigan side to perfection. Just to confirm for you that St Helens have made the change. Pickavance is off, and on comes Phil Vivers. Dermott slips.
It's been a great defensive effort from St Helens. You can see they're moving up very quickly out wide, and they're forcing Wigan down the middle. It's a ploy that most teams try to impress upon this Wigan side. Not many get away with it, but Saints are doing it well today.
Last tackle here for Wigan. I'm sure, just thinking about it, that Bradford Northern's players are watching this match with interest. They are playing this evening at Halifax in a vital match for them at the top of the table, and at the moment they'll be very happy with the fact that Saints are ahead against the champions 9-6. Of course, Bradford Wigan meet twice later this month, and you can see the one at Central Park here on Sky. April the 15th will be live and exclusive that night, and that will probably decide the destiny of the title. Here's Cooper. Now Joint almost through.
Vital 9 minutes now for Saints. They realise they've got this strong wind behind them. Psychologically, it's to their advantage.
Good hands from Saints. Hunt finds Riley. Riley cuts in field, gets away from Platt. Can't get away from Cassidy and Edwards. That's a good run from Riley. Taking his chance well. Griffiths out injured. Riley on the wing and positional changes also. The drop goal attempt from Martin went underneath the bar.
Not the best. He won't be happy with it. It's quite obvious that this week, their coach Eric Hughes has told them, we no longer will go down into the quarter line and come away with nothing.
Well, let's be fair, Steve-O, if they'd kicked probably half of the one-pointers in the semi-final, they'd be at Wembley now.
That's right. And it's quite ironic that one of the greats from St. Helens of yesteryear, Alex Murphy, that was his old adage, never go down in the quarter and come away with nothing. 1 point is better.
Well, they're hunting for the ones today. Here's Skerritt. All pumped up for this one. It's Dermot to Clark, and here's Platt. Platt gets it away in the tackle to Edwards. And that ball comes back to Cooper, who immediately releases Harrison. The ball spilled from Edwards' grasp in the tackle. Cooper standing in front of the ball, but he was allowed to pick it up because it came off the Wigan man. Here's Lachlan.
Strong run there by the centre. You could see him really travelling when he got that ball.
Vivers to Rapati, and Hunt almost through, and he drops it. He tried to get that ball out wide because there were two players steaming up on his outside.
You could see it there, and Barry John Mather got the arm. Didn't go for the ball this time, pulled the arm away, but it was a beautiful movement there. Across the way, Rapati, a neat pass. And Hunt tried to do the same.
Aitchison. Botica to Edwards.
To be fair, Eddie, with this strong win, I think we're going to be quite happy to be only 3 points in arrears at the half-time break. I'm sure their coach, John Dorry, will have plenty to say about the kicking game. Let's get right down into their quarter.
Saints ahead in the handling errors, 5-2. Ahead on the scoreboard, 9-6. Skerritt can go nowhere. Dorahy still watching on. The expression hasn't changed. His champions are still adrift by 3 points. Edwards trying to inject a bit of more urgency into this Wigan side. Dabs the ball forward. Lyon collects it. He's trapped by Cassidy. That's a good chase.
Cool play there by the fullback David Lyon, realising that he was under a lot of pressure. No point in rushing things. Give his players a chance to get back, set up.
Dwyer, a good run from the dummy half. 5 to half-time. 9-6 the Saints. Dannett, who has showed up well in this first half. Martin, under pressure from Cowie, got the ball away. Just found the right side of the touchline.
Well, I can't understand the tactics there. You can see Tommy Martin elect for a rather short kick. This really is a gale force wind behind them. Surely get it high. Give the chance to chase. Anything can happen with a swirling wind like this.
Andy Platt just being patched up by David Fever, the Wigan physio. Russell Smith calls time back on as Edwards feeds, gets the possession, finds Botica. Connolly wanted that. And here goes Connolly. What he would give to score a try today, I'm sure. Edwards. Cassidy. Away from Cooper, not away from Joint. Wigan coming back into it in the last quarter of an hour or so. 58 to 42%, but it's still St Helens with the majority of the possession, but not with the ball at the moment. It belongs to Edwards. Cowie's gone into dummy half.
Well, the Wigan's build-up is good, but I'm afraid the second phase of attack is non-existent.
Dermot, long pass Mather. No one running on, as Steve-O so rightly says, to give Mather a helping hand there. Just had to take the tackle. He got injured too. It's Edwards now. Short ball to Botica. Botica's pass straight into touch. They are not firing on their normal full cylinders.
Well, you could see these players running up, moving up. They're not standing behind, giving them a chance to run onto the football. They're very, very flat. You can't afford to be flat when you're in attacking position.
Wigan creeping up with the referee there. Just took a couple of steps further forward as Saints played that ball. Dwyer to Dannett. Dwyer again. Here's Chris Joint. And was that a smack from Platt? The referee says he caught the shoulder. Dwyer. Hunt almost through the gap. Platt was there to close it down again.
Super play from the hooker Dwyer there, running from dummy half, drew in the defence. Great pass.
Martin hoists the high kick under pressure. Here's a tester for Aitchison. And he stood behind his own try line, diffused the bomb. It'll be a tap on the 20-metre mark. Good play from the young fullback.
Look at that, for any youngster watching, eyes on the football at all time, taking no notice of the heavy traffic coming towards him, and then offside. Saints moving up far too quickly. Plenty to choose from on the replay.
Didn't miss them, Russell Smith. Wigan in the St Helens half of the field with Skerrett. It took Loughlin and Joint to bring him down. Dermot to Edwards, to Clark. Cowie is the runner. Almost through. It was a good tackle by Cooper, but he got the ball away. And here's Botica now. This is Mather. He's playing pitter-pat with it, and Cooper says, well, I'll have it. Called Riley on his inside. It took a real clatter from Aitchison too.
Well, you can see the attack is just standing. It's too flat. Touch to John. Probably have a word with the centre, Barry John Mather. See, this Cooper brings him on the inside, and Mather had not committed himself. Went through with the tackle a little bit late. He's having a word with Skerrett and Dannett. Now, they've been having a real old tussle all through this first half, especially in the scrums. And Mr. Smith says, cool it, you guys.
Skerrett's already had 10 minutes in the sin bin. They pack down now as Edwards feeds the scrum, and he finds Botica. And he's on again, the touch judge.
He's got Dannett for a headbutt.
Well, the referee hasn't seen him. Robinson is there. Robinson's still running strongly. The touch judge came on, and now he's coming off. It's play on. Botica to Edwards to Botica. Here's Clark.
Well, did Russell Smith wave the touch judge off? He was on for an age. He didn't see him. He's allowing the advantage, but it could be a disadvantage to Wigan.
Here's Cassidy. Stopped 8 yards from the line. Touch judge has certainly got his flag down by his side now. Edwards to Botica. Botica to Platt. Good defence. Great tackle, Vivas. Cooper there as well. Last tackle, Edwards. Wigan are going to run this. There's the ball to Clark. Over the top it goes to Robinson, who knocks on.
Now where's the touch judge? Has he got his running boots on? The pass, and once again we see a player far too flat. You should be hanging back and running on to that. Now that's interesting, this touch judge. He's rooted to the spot now. Went for a little trot a few moments earlier. Forgotten all about the incident, but he shouldn't have. Was definite a headbutt there from Dannett.
This is Chris Joint. We're approaching half-time. In fact, we've got stoppage time in this first half, and maybe it's a good job too that one or two tempers can just cool a little. But here's Martin. There's going to be quite some time, I think, added on in this first half, because the referee has stopped the clock every time that ball has fallen over. Aitchison collects.
That was a wasted kick there from Rapati, right down the throat of the big fullback Aitchison. You have to use this win to your advantage, push it into the corners.
I'm sure that will be number one on the agenda for John Dorahy's team talk at half-time. Connolly. Gets away from Dannett. That's good play. But can't get away from Bernard Dwyer, who's had a big first half for Saints. Edwards shaped a kick and then scampered forward. Sean Edwards wheeled in by Vivas. No one's trying harder than Edwards. Cassidy picks it up. No knock on. Two and a half minutes stoppage time played. Plenty more to come, I fancy, as Botica dabs it forward. The ball bounces kindly, but Lyon read it perfectly.
Great position there from David Lyon, but before that we saw a brilliant run from Sean Edwards. Dumb it to kick, went through, but look at the positioning there of the full-back. Excellent play. Been plenty of skills on display in this first half.
Lyon injured in that tackle, but the referee has moved the ball away and said to St Helens, well, play it and let's get on with it. So much time added on at the end of this first half. Could be here till midnight. But there is the half-time siren, and St Helens are ahead by 9 points to 6 at half-time. Live from Knowsley Road, this Good Friday traditional fixture is turning into a cracker, and Bernard Dwyer has had a wonderful first half for St Helens. He's prompted them forward, and so has that man, Sean Edwards, scrum half and skipper of Wigan.
You're watching Sky Sports.
I haven't got ball players, I've got girls.
Tom Hanks, Gina Davis and Madonna. In the British television premiere of A League of Their Own, Easter Saturday at 7:30 on the Movie Channel.
Hi, my name's May, and that's more than a name, that's an attitude.
A League of Their Own, just one of the 32 premieres you can see this April. To subscribe, just call 0506 460000. That's 0506 460000.
Sassoon conditioned hair with style. The new styling collection from Vidal Sassoon. For fine flyaway hair, protective styling spray puts you in control. Its conditioning agents give your hair body. Its anti-static formulation keeps control. Style after style. For Sassoon conditioned hair with style. The new styling collection by Vidal Sassoon.
You know you're not allowed in the blending room. It takes 5 years training before you can blend Tetley tea. Teas from India, rich and full-bodied. Teas from Ceylon, of delicate flavour. You see, lad, we pick teas from all over the world. Every sip of Tetley's blended to a tea by experts. Then we add just a bit of Tetley magic.
Philips invents CDI. From now on, television isn't just something you watch, it's something you do. Philips invents for you.
It's the new Sesame Street Turnover Choo Choo, where children have fun taking Big Bird, Ernie and Elmo on a ride over a wonderful turnover track. They even get to control real train sounds. On the Sesame Street Turnover Choo Choo, it's all aboard for fun. Sesame Street Preschool Toys from Tyco.
Let Sharwood's simple sauces put your cooking on the map.
Hurry.
It's all right, it's all right.
Hurry.
Buy a used car from Network Q and you'll be saying thank you, because at Network Q, every used car gets 114 checks, just like a new car.
Thank you.
Network Q, treating used cars like new.
Seize the day.
The goal line dropout from under the post must travel at least 10 metres before either side can make a play to regain possession of the ball. On this occasion, the ball clearly fails to cross the 10-metre line. This results in a penalty to the non-kicking side, 10 metres in front of the post.
It's half-time here at Knowsley Road in this biggest of big league matches. St Helens 9, Wigan 6. The try from Dwyer, 2 goals from Martin and the drop. How important might that be come the end of the day? Edwards and Bottica with the points for Wigan. 2 matches, of course, on the row that Wigan have lost, and they're now trailing after half a game here at Knowsley Road. Steve-O, they are well and truly looking down both barrels here.
They are, but I think that the advantage of the wind in the second half, they won't make the mistake that St Helens has made, because quite frankly, St should have used the kicking game a lot better than what they did in that first 40 minutes. In fact, I was very disappointed with their kicking game. But full credit to them, they scored some good points. At least they've learned the lesson from last week's semi-final. The fact that they've got to try and come away with points. They went for the drop goal on 2 occasions. At least they got one out of the 2.
2 stars of the first half on the Saints side. Bernard Dwyer for Wigan. Shaun Edwards, he looks as though he's in the mood again, doesn't he?
Well, he is. He's been in the mood all the time. But as we mentioned during that first 40 minutes, if you haven't got that second phase of attack, then he's a wasted man. He made 1 good break, and that's the advantage of Wigan, that when they get a chance, they usually come up with the points. They only had 2 clear-cut chances in that first 40 minutes and came away with at least 1 try.
Bernard Dwyer, Shaun Edwards, the men who scored the tries in that first half, of course, and it was a rip-roaring start for the Saints, wasn't it, with this Bernard Dwyer effort?
Well, it was the first time that Dwyer had run from the dummy half. They expected perhaps a pass out wide. He'd take the little kick. It was a little bit, well, lady luck on his side. He came off the prop forward's shoulder, but you can see there Wigan at that point was standing back. They had their defensive problems all over the workplace. Platt, well, bounced off his shoulder, nothing he can do about it, but they were playing the ball very quickly with St Helens. They were catching Wigan going backwards all the time.
This could be very important, couldn't it?
I think so. As I say, we mentioned the fact that they've learned the lesson of the loss against Leeds last week in the semi-final. At least get 1 point. They've had another attempt on that, but other than that, their kicking game has been very, very poor. And I'm sure that their coach, Eric Hughes, will have plenty to say about that. It's going to be hard in that second half now.
Well, they're 6th in the table at the moment, St Helens. They've got their eyes on Old Trafford and that Premiership finals day. I don't think actually they can finish much higher than 6th this season, even if results go for them. So they're going to have to do it tough if they're going to get to Old Trafford. Well, they're going to have to go away from home.
Yeah, they know it's going to be tough for them. But the thing is, if they can build their confidence and come away today with a win against Wigan, they will go places. They really will, because they've pushed their loss in the semi-final behind them. And they've shown some good stuff in that first 40 minutes. But is it going to be enough?
We shall wait and see. Of course, Wigan have got eyes not only on the Big League Championship, but on the World Club Challenge in Brisbane, as have Bradford Northern. But this is the Shaun Edwards try that's put them right back into this match.
Yeah, quick play the ball. One of the first times that Wigan would allow to play the ball quickly. St Helens have been pretty good at that in the first 30 minutes at least. It was a beautiful break by Clark. He really does improve the side, doesn't he? They've missed him in the last 10 games. He's a bad loss to their side. He never stops going, does Clark. He's a man that just motivates, leads by example. And we saw there, running onto the ball, great break, and who else but the support of Shaun Edwards. But that's another thing that's been irritating Wigan for quite some time, is that they're making themselves a lot of problems. They are very flat in attack, and they should be standing back. On so many occasions in this game, the ball has gone behind the man trying to attempt to pick it up.
It's 9-6 to St Helens at half-time. I wonder what Bradford Northern, their coach Peter Fox, are thinking at this moment in time. I'm sure that they are with you and watching this game on the Big League here on Sky Sports this Good Friday lunchtime, and they will be praying that St Helens hold on for victory in the next 40 minutes. It's a very, very big 40 minutes coming up for Shaun Edwards and Wigan.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Seen the chance? Great opportunity, this! Oh, no! He'll be gutted about that!
If you collect tokens from Kellogg's Cocoa Pops or Honey Nut Loops, you can get beautiful Princess Polly gem compacts absolutely free. But on the other hand,
You could send off for a mighty Max
four to collect.
Do you want to be in the frame to be this month's winner of Telly Million? Then call 089 1 million by Wednesday and...
You could win £250,000. Just pick up the phone. No, you flaming clot. Pick up the phone and dial this number. Answer one simple question correctly and you could win £250,000.
So call Telly Million anytime, day or night on 089 1 million.
Funny looking soap.
Not as funny as you. Anyway, it's not soap. It's Biactyl. Helps keep my spots under control.
But you're not spotty.
That's because I use Biactyl every day.
But why if you're not spotty?
Because I don't want them back.
Oh, why?
Look, bacteria in the skin cause spots. Biactyl kills more bacteria than ordinary soap. In fact, it's twice as effective. Looking good. So could you.
Daily washing with Biactyl beats soap at beating spots.
Pop duo Gale and Gillian use Head and Shoulders.
Obviously, our image is important to us, so we make sure our hair is in great shape. So dandruff would not be a good look. Oh, definitely not. But I discovered Head and Shoulders in my bathroom. Not only does it get rid of dandruff, but the rich, creamy lather really takes care of your hair. So now my hair always looks almost as good as mine. I better get my own.
Head and Shoulders. Forget dandruff, have beautiful hair.
A new era has dawned for England. A new era under Terry Venables. Now England flex their muscles against 3 World Cup qualifiers, exclusively live on Sky. April 20th, England face their toughest test against world champions Germany. May 17th, it's a Wembley showdown against Greece. And on May 22nd, England seek revenge against World Cup finalists Norway. Follow England on the road to international success. Follow England on Sky.
Seize the day.
The most important 40 minutes of Wigan's season lies ahead. They trail at half-time 9-6 to St Helens in this most bruising of local derbies. Match facts from the first half. Tackling, level pegging. Wigan have had 5 scrums to 1. Penalties 6-5. Handling errors all square now at 5-all. And Saints shaded the first half 54% to 46%, and they lead by 9 points to 6. Bernard Dwyer's try. Hasn't he had a big first half, the St Helens hooker? Bernard Dwyer, 5 of his 6 major finals have been played against Wigan, the old enemy. Back at hooker now after 4 in the second row, and a big crowd on this Good Friday afternoon enjoying this local derby. Wigan return, no doubt Gary Connolly and the rest of the Wigan players with the words of John Doherty, and who knows, his assistant coach now, Dean Bell, ringing in their ears. They know how important this next 40 minutes is. Bill Arthur is with the Saints coach Eric Hughes.
Eric, a pretty good first 40 for you. Yeah, good first 40, but obviously we're going into the teeth of the strong wind this half. The big thing is when we have possession, we need to take it to 6. We have to control it this half. We can't afford any mistakes, because any mistakes this half, it's just one kick from Wigan and we're back on our own half. So we've got to control the ball. That's the big thing this half.
That's what Eric Hughes has told his players at the start of this second half at the really sharp end of the Stones Bidder Championship. Wigan with a 3-point deficit to make up. It's nothing in a game like this, really. But they know that a defeat here today and they will kiss goodbye to the Big League Championship, a championship that they have held for the past 4 seasons. Edwards immediately putting the boot to the ball, and here's Sullivan. Gets away from Platt, another former St Helens player, of course. Wheeled in by Cowie, but I'm afraid illegally. Referee Russell Smith was right on the spot of that tackle, and he's given Saints first penalty second half.
Well, sometimes the dancing and the steps have to stop. That's usually the way. Cowie, the swinging right arm, right in front of the referee Russell Smith. Well, they're becoming their own worst enemy, I'm afraid, Wigan.
Amazing 12 months ago. This match was billed as the decider. It ended up at 8-all. Decided very little at the end of the day, except the fact that Wigan were then champions-elect. Today, Wigan know that they have to win. A draw will be no good to them. Bradford play Halifax this evening at Thrum Hall. What a boost it would be for Bradford Northern if Wigan go down here. And it's Saints who are in possession with Martin. Martin, long pass out to the far side. Here's Riley. And Wigan having to scuttle back in defence.
Did well there, did the winger Riley. Stepped back inside, knew that the touchline was close.
Rapati just juggling with it and took the big hit from Clark.
Super tackle, wasn't it?
Saints trying to hit Wigan with an early try here, or an early drop goal from Martin. Martin being given a real telling off by Andy Dannett alongside him.
Well, they really went for it, didn't they? Just skying away, sliding off his foot. Another chance gone begging. They realise how difficult it's going to be running into the face of this, well, superly strong wind.
Penalty to St Helens. I don't think they played the ball properly. It's not been a good day for Kelvin Skerritt, has it?
Well, he perhaps tried to milk a penalty there. But it amazes me, some referees, they pick it up, not playing the ball with the foot. Quite a lot of players get away with it. He's not on his own there, Kelvin Skerritt. Not happy with it, is he?
Most upset.
Well, the penalty count against Wigan for silly infringements gets even higher.
So, Tommy Martin then. He's kicked 2 from 4. What he would give for this one to sail over. And remember, he's in the teeth of this very, very strong wind. And yet again, the ball will not sit still on that little mound of sand. Now, on a normal day, you would put money on Martin to kick this. But that's the problem. The kicks are not easy from any distance.
Perhaps the decision to take that kick will be reversed the next time they get the opportunity. Quick tap the ball and apply the pressure perhaps, rather than receive the ball well into their own half now.
One thing about it, St Helens do have the ball back, but they're in their own half of the field with Rapati. Eric Hughes, the Saints coach, has put the disappointment of the semi-final defeat behind him, and now is hell-bent on Old Trafford, as are his players. This is Joint, and that's a good tackle again from Aitchison. He didn't play the ball properly. The Joint was definitely pushed. It's play on. Vivas finds Hunt.
Super run there from Bernard Dwyer. He's having a wow of a game.
Harrison looping past to Loughlin. Loughlin on the run. Tackled by his close friend Connolly. Good mates off the field, Gary Connolly and Paul Loughlin. Best of enemies today. Dwyer, Martin, Cooper. Over the top from Rapati to Vivas. Couldn't pick up. Mather does instead.
A woeful pass there. Tried to pick up on the half volley. Another chance gone begging. Long ball out wide. Wasn't the best, was it? Vivas had hardly little chance to get to that.
Edwards to Platt. Here's Dermot from dummy half. Skerritt. Takes 3 to bring Kelvin Skerritt down. It's the last tackle for Wigan. They're still in their own half of the field. Skerritt wants Bernard Dwyer to get out of his way. Edwards, meanwhile, gives the ball plenty of height to catch the wind, and Riley sets off on a tremendous run. That's great play from Mike Riley.
Super run, and that's back to 6. Edwards got a touch to that.
6 to go for St Helens with Cooper. Here's Loughlin, had to stretch for that. Sullivan's ahead of him. Bad ball, Loughlin. Shocking pass. Absolutely awful. Sullivan had the length of the field ahead of him.
No chance to get to that. Well, Loughlin going through the horrors of late. In the first half, he made a dummy, went straight through the gap, and for some unknown reason didn't follow through with it.
Robinson for Wigan. Almost through. Cooper tracked him down. Robinson wants to get on with it. Referee blows for the penalty.
Well, it's no good complaining. Cooper had to roll away, and he didn't. He just still stayed on top of the winger, Robinson.
That's a heck of a penalty from Botica. It's taken Wigan on to the 20-metre mark, and they're running it with Skerritt now.
Well, we're only 7 minutes into this second half.
And Skerritt's been bundled into touch. Skerritt says, no, I wasn't.
Super defence. Yes, he was. Well, I was just saying that Wigan, just 7 minutes into the second half, have used 4 kicks downfield. They're the tactics.
Martin, the acting halfback, to Cooper. He's all wrapped by Cassidy and Aitchison. John Dorahy watching on grimly as Dwyer sets off on another run. Tries to drill straight through the chest of Connolly. Connolly stood up to the task well. Vivas is the dummy half. Martin to Chris Joint. Dannett. On the halfway line, Dannett is brought down.
Good run by the prop forward, Dannett there. Really did make 15 good metres.
Martin's kick downfield will not run dead. Robinson must run it out, and Martin's there to meet him. That's a great chase.
Super kick, super chase, super tackle. Oh, that's good defence. Now that ball was on the line. That should have been dead in goal.
Wigan escape then. They have to run this ball out with Clark, but it's great defence from St Helens.
Well, Botica got the treatment here, and I'm sure that that ball is on the line. There it is, quite clearly.
Cassidy, under pressure from Vivas, gets the kick away, just to relieve the pressure this time. Lyon has to wait for it. Tricky conditions for the fullbacks also today. Lyon showed it to Sullivan and took the tackle in the end from Robinson and Cassidy. Dwyer at dummy half. Sullivan now. Shrugs Edwards off. Couldn't get away from Platt. Cooper. Harrison.
Saints perhaps will be better served now to miss a man out, try to get out of the heavy traffic period.
Joint with the run, tackled by Clark. Vivas, Cooper, Dwyer. Yes, it's very congested in the centre of field. It's the last tackle. That ball was never played. Most untidy. Oh, that bounced off the legs of Botica. It was Rapati who was trying to dab it through. If Botica can pick up here and find Mather, they're in trouble, St Helens. But they've marshalled their defences well.
Good scrambling defence there.
Edwards, long pass to Skerritt, back to the halfway line. Skerritt just waited for that challenge to come in. Here's Connolly, the acting halfback. He finds Clark. Good tackling, Martin. St Helens are the better side. Martin got a bang on the head there, making that tackle. Here's Edwards, short ball to Platt. St Helens crowd scream for forward. Russell Smith is unimpressed.
Not only that, Dannett went pretty high, but he said he was round the shoulders.
Good quick hands here from Wigan. This is a fire over the top to Aitchison. Last tackle here for Wigan.
Much better attack from Wigan there, keeping the ball alive quickly.
Edwards fires the pass to Botica. Botica will clip one over the top, looking for Robinson. Sullivan's there. It bounces. Oh, and it was so close for Robinson. It came off the arm of Sullivan. It ran dead in goal.
Super kick there, but Sullivan did at least, when he lost it, force it over the dead in goal line. But a super kick from Botica. It's going to be
the Wigan.
The pattern, I'm afraid. All the second half, the kick.
The drop out from under the post, just from Tommy Martin, just found the field of play. All the Saints supporters and players held their breath. Wigan have made a change. Mick Cassidy has come off and Sam Panapa has come on. He's had an excellent season, the New Zealand international. John Doherty just tinkering with the permutation. Here's Connolly, knows how desperate the next half hour is for his team's big league championship ambition. Aitchison. Remember, Wigan face Warrington on Easter Monday, another vital game for them. Can they stand the pressure?
Composure, that's a key word for Wigan now. Do not panic. Plenty of time.
Edwards took over the responsibility, then found Connolly, who found Mather. Here's a fire! Oh, fire is in touch. No try. He says, I got it down.
High tackle, though. There you see it, Hunt goes right over the top. That'll be a penalty. No chance of him getting the try, but he did get the penalty. More pressure for Saints.
Little love lost between Martin Offiah and Alan Hunt. There have been some fiery confrontations between those two in this fixture in the past. But Hunt, if he hadn't have got a challenge in, Offiah might well have been sneaking in the corner.
But he could have made the challenge without giving away the penalty.
It shows how vital, by the way, Steve-O, this is to Wigan at the moment, because despite this terrible win, Botica fancies a shot at goal from far out on the touchline because of that penalty.
Well, they want the points. They realise that this St. Helens defence is very strong indeed. They found it really difficult to break it down. Only about 3 clear breaks, and that's quite unusual for a side like Wigan that has so much talent.
10 out of 10 he once kicked against St. Helens in a Premiership final. ...126 successful goal kicks before today. 1 from 2 so far this afternoon. Botica will float this in on the wind. And gets the 2, a vital 2 for Wigan. Floated it across and over the bar. And how important could that be? Botica, the boot, is back.
Composure. He's been going through the horrors of late. That will lift his confidence.
So, it's in the melting pot. 9-8. St. Helens lead. So tight. The nerves are jangling on the terraces. I'm sure they're jangling out there on the field.
Well, everybody realises that just one mistake could be the difference between these two teams. Who's going to make it?
That's Panapa in possession. 16 tries this season for the New Zealand international. Platt makes the error. Knock on. Andy Platt, the former Saint, a sinner for Wigan.
Misunderstanding at the play of the ball. Platt was running through expecting to be the dummy runner. The ball intended for Cowie.
And offside. St. Helens have the penalty. They must run this with Joint. 5 metres short of the line. Dwyer. Cooper just holding up the ball. 2 runners alongside him were Martin and Dannett. Cooper took the tackle 10 metres from the Wigan line. Here's Martin. Now Rapati, that went behind him, and Botic is after it. Hunt came over and picked up the pieces. Broken play here, to opportunity for St. Helens. Good tackling though. Philip Clark, Kelvin Skerrett.
Quick thinking though from Alan Hunt, the centre. Came back very quickly.
Harrison unloads the ball to Dwyer, who finds his captain Cooper. Good ball to Rapati. They have men out wide. Loughlin's there, so too Riley. Another awful pass. Well, Loughlin is going through the horrors.
Oh, superb run by Rapati to send Laughlin through. And the ball going down in a downward movement again. Not the best pass. Riley having to go down. It was right down by his knees. And the tale of woe for Saints, with Wingman going for try to score a try, continues.
Mather was injured in retrieving that situation for Wigan. He continues to receive treatment as Wigan mount this attack with Banniper, brought down by Vivas. Edwards to Aitchison. Paul Aitchison had such a good game against St Helens in last year's Premiership final. Botica dribbling. Soccer skills from Botica. The backup from Cowie. Cowie just dabs it forward. A race for Robinson. Lyon is there, and Lyon will take no chances and takes no prisoners.
Good play from Cowie. Nice pass inside. Banniper got the ball back inside there. And look at Cowie go. Realised he couldn't go on the last tackle. Neat little kick, and David Lyon saved the day.
Lovely little kick from a prop forward, Neil Cowie. It's St Helens who have to drop out into the teeth of this gale, and that's a good kick from Martin. Good length up to halfway, but this is Botica.
Geez, they were lucky St Helens there. They'd made the substitution. George Mann had come onto the field of play, was actually stood in front of the kicker. He could have been penalised. I know it's stretching the point, but the rule book should have penalised him.
It's Harrison for George Mann. The dead leg obviously recovered. He's able to come back on as Connolly squirms away from one tackle, finds Botica, and this is Aitchison who brings Mather into it, who's recovered from the bang he took just a few moments ago. Aitchison wants to get on with it quickly, so do Wigan. Here's Cowie. Cowie driving towards the line. Cowie still going, he's so close. Just held up. Last tackle. Dermott spins the ball back to Edwards. Edwards to a fire. Drop goal from a fire. And he's levelled the scores. Martin a fire with the one-pointer. It's all square at 9-all.
He makes his name scoring 4, but could make his name with just 1. Good thinking there. It was definitely not on. Edwards knew he was going down a blind alley, and full credit to Martin O'Fire. He drifted in field and took the opportunity with glee.
Not the first for a fire. He's dropped 1 or 2 one-pointers in the past, notably here in the Challenge Cup against St Helens last season also. So, gradually, St Helens have been hauled back by Wigan. The champions now level at 9 points all, and a big 21 minutes to go. Patience is the key. You hit the nail on the head, Steve-O, early doors here.
Don't panic. But what's going through the minds of the St Helens players? They know another try has gone begging. Can they lift themselves? That is a big question. Wigan, with the strong wind to their advantage, realise that one good kick can put them in an attacking position.
Clark takes the tackle from Vivas. Remember, 12 months ago, that ball was never played either. Remember, 12 months ago, it was 8 points all in this Good Friday fixture. It's 9 all now, and Wigan are starting to hit the straps. Cowie gets the ball away. He was not tackled. The referee did not call hell. Skerritt. Skerritt with one hand free, finds a fire. Fire steps round Cooper. Well, did Edwards act as the decoy? He did.
And it's given away another 10 metres by Silly. Back chat to the referee. You'll see O'Fire make him, and he uses Edwards through, and Edwards takes out Laughlin. Perhaps unintentionally. Either way, the referee, Russell Smith, didn't see it that way. And Edwards, silly back chat. Edwards there, and the referee deemed that Edwards blocked himself.
Good decision from the referee. Edwards would not agree and didn't, and that's why St Helens are now in the Wigan half of the field from that penalty. Dwyer to Dannett, back to Dwyer. And Andy Platt goes piggyback. Saints have had 11 penalties to Wigan 7. Cooper to Mann, and here's Lyon.
Full credit to Saints. They're doing the crisscross moves. They're trying to prise this defence open.
Joint gets away from Phil Clark, can't get away from Palaper, but releases the ball. Rapati, another long ball over the top. And it was patted down. I think it was Aitchison for mine, and Mather picked up the loose ball.
Well, what a great break there by Tia Rapati. But the pass just didn't get over the top. He tried to lob the ball over the top, and they've given away a silly penalty. The pressure is relieved. Alan Hunt is not impressed. There you see Alan Hunt just grabbing hold of him at the last moment.
Wigan in possession with Skerrett. But what a let-off this was.
Beautiful break from Tia Rapati, and it was Bottiger that just got the hand to it, and that could save the day. Riley and Hunt were screaming for the ball out wide.
It's 6 to go here, by the way, for Wigan.
Well, it's important now that Saints put a lot of pressure on the kicker, not give away a silly penalty.
Lovely ball round the back from Dermot to Platt. Good tackling by Alan Hunt. Here's Edwards. Thought about the kick, found Aitchison instead, and Aitchison breaks through, but Loughlin did well in defence. Last tackle here for Wigan. Connolly to Edwards. Edwards hoists the high one. Catches the wind, goes out in the full. Edwards holds his head in his hands. The despair.
Not the best kick, he knows it. One of the best tactical kickers in our game, Sean Edwards, realises that another chance has gone begging to just turn the screw on this Saints defence.
Dwyer, good long ball. Riley wrestled to the floor on halfway by Mather.
Well, it's going to be adventurous football that's going to win this game. Missing the man out that we saw from Dwyer there, the long ball.
Cooper did well to hold on to that. Here's Joint now. Loughlin. Oh, forward pass again. Loughlin, Lee said, soonest mended.
A picture tells 1,000 words.
Wigan bossing this second half in terms of possession, and they've scored the 3 points that has hauled them level. Wigan's possession from the scrum. Edwards takes over from Bottiger. Here's Connolly. Couldn't get away from Lyon. Edwards again. Mather. Edwards once more. The crowd here at Knowsley Road almost holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Skerrett drops it. Ball went backwards, play on. Bottiger with the run. Sensational break from Bottiger. Edwards is there, being tracked by Dwyer. Good scrambling defence again from Saints. What a break, though, for Wigan. O'Fire. O'Fire, still going O'Fire, stepping out of the challenges. Eventually grounded 5 metres from the line. Bang in front of the posts. Here's Edwards. Platt was the runner, and it was forward, the pass from Edwards.
He hung on too long. The delayed pass there. Tried to suck in the defence. They weren't going to be kidded by that. Joint and Rapati held off. They waited for the big man Platt, but the ball had just gone forward. But what great break from Frano Bottiger. And did you notice how he used the referee so well? He sidestepped round the referee and the gap appeared.
Loughlin up to the 20-metre line. .14.5 minutes left for play. Level pegging at 9-all. Dannett gets the ball away. Cooper drops it. It's going to be a scrum. Cooper said he was impeded by a Wigan player there in his line of vision.
So what? Once the game's open. Well, a sad mistake there for the Saints fans and the players. And this is where Wigan are dangerous.
Bottiger. Connolly. Halted by Rapati, finished off by Chris Joint. Wigan gradually grinding their way into this match. 9-all. They've been behind the 8 ball all the way through, haven't they?
Well, it's going to take some individual play, I'm sure. Individual skill, little kick over, the dummy, the sidestep, to break this very strong defence on either side.
So important to Wigan. Point really no good to them at all. Clark.
Good drive there from the loose forward Clark. They're obviously setting up for the 1 point, Wigan.
Dermot. Still going Dermot. Inside to Platt, and Andy Platt's in! Platt of Wigan, once of St Helens, and gradually Wigan have wore this St Helens defence down, and what a time to score your second try of the season.
Well, the St Helens defence also thought that Wigan was going to set up for the 1 point, and Martin Dermot, one of his very few forays to run from dummy half. It's a superb support play from Platt. Look at this, it's super play. Weak second marking. The second marker was non-existent there. He drew in the fullback David Lyon, and the big prop forward gleefully accepts the 4, which surely now will turn to 6.
Andy Platt on his way to Auckland at the end of this season, but has he just handed Wigan a big chance of the big league title? Botica from bang in front, so important this kick. And even on a day like this, Botica does not miss those. So Andy Platt's try and Botica's conversion. Wigan hit the front for the first time.
Look at the second marker there, no chance of getting to Dermot. And that's how the breakthrough. You've got to work hard in that second position. And so, super. That is great support play. That could win the game.
St Helens restart. They've led this match for so long. Knock on by Edwards from the kickoff. Edwards will have none of it. Disagrees with the decision. The whistle's gone.
Well, it appeared to go back in my book. Every right to feel as though he's badly done to, but he should have taken it. Well, the chances are going either way.
Can Saint snap straight back? Rapati long ball to Lachlan. Lachlan took a high one from Aitchison. Rapati wheeling the players round down this left-hand side, goes right, finds man, gets away from Skerrett, the ball to Lyon. Wigan scrambling defence, they're there in numbers. They bring the full-back down. Dorahy watching on anxiously, as he has all afternoon. Martin to Rapati, so close, Rapati, Martin, ball out wide, it's Hunt, and Hunt! He's just held up by a fire, try-saver from a fire. It's no try. Martin Afire punches the air. He knows that that try has saved a certain 4, that tackle.
Beautiful tackle there, but what on earth was the centre Alan Hunt thinking here? Should have played it. Should have played it to the winger. Mike Riley was screaming there in dummy half. Rush of blood there from the centre Hunt. And once again, St Helens go on the road of bombing tries. Never mind the road to Bombay, it's the road to bomb tries.
Dermot back to Afire. Back to Cowie. Wasn't really expecting that. And Cowie injured. Bang on the shoulder. Edwards shaped to kick. Had to take the tackle in the end from Dannett. And Edwards now hurt. St Helens crowd are unconvinced.
Either way, they'll move the ball away. 5 metres though. All of a sudden Edwards says, I've recovered.
Botica, high kick. Lyon is there, Riley's there. Oh, that's a great kick from Botica.
Just a looping kick over, let the wind do the rest. The bounce of the ball takes a wicked break, doesn't it? But either way, Wigan in the driving seat, also 10 metres away from the St Helens try line.
There's less than 9 minutes to go. Riley trying to engineer some sort of breakout for St Helens. Cooper, the dummy half. It's now with Rapati, and here's Vivas. Good tackling by Botica. He's worked hard too.
Well, is it going to be another day where Saints can look back and say what might have been? So many chances gone begging.
Dwyer to Martin, and here's Cooper. Now Hunt. Now he's got a bit of space ahead of him, but it was soon and quickly closed down by Mather. Hunt wants to get on with it. Screaming at the referee, saying that Mather was hanging on to his ankle, couldn't play quickly. But Saints now with men overlapping here with Loughlin, but Robinson does well in the tackle. Clark came in a bit late.
Super play there by Robinson, read the situation well.
Trying to grapple Rapati to the ground, but Rapati's kick catches that wind. A fire is there. And here goes a fire. Oh, and he slips and gets collared by George Mann.
Well, the crowd took a big deep breath there in anticipation. In a long time since we've seen a long-range effort from Martin O'Fire. He was winding up there.
Here comes Panapa. Saints trailing 15-9, runners up to Wigan in the championship race for the past 2 years. Only on points difference last season. That was surely a drop ball by Cowie. Referee plays the advantage. It's Martin. Strong run from Martin. Good tackling by Connolly and Robinson.
Well, that kick previous from Cowie has gone to his head. He tried another one then. Didn't drop it, he tried to kick it.
Sullivan wasn't tackled properly, was able to get up and scamper a few more metres forward. Loughlin is missed out by Martin, not the best pass. Cooper picks up, finds Mann. On halfway, George Mann drops the ball. Knock on.
The strength there, trying to push the man away, but lost control of the football. He looks in hope at the referee, Russell Smith, that perhaps he's squeezed a penalty. He wasn't going to be kidded on that occasion.
Such a vital 2 points at stake here for Wigan. Can't be overemphasised. Before start of play this morning, 4 points adrift with a game in hand. They go level on games with Bradford, and they are 2 points behind. And that's the one that might decide it. 15th of April, live and exclusive on Sky. It's Wigan-Bradford at Central Park. Meanwhile, we're at Knowsley Road. And Skerrett is back chatting to the touch judge and has conceded the penalty.
Little doubt that it was pulled out by Rapati. Oh, it really is a big problem, this rule. But the touch judge said that he dropped it. You could see quite clearly Rapati's right hand dragging the ball away.
And Skerrett just allowing his frustration to boil over. So St Helens have the possession from the penalty, and that's Hunt taking the tackle from Mather. Punishing Easter period for the players in the big league. They have another set of matches to face on Monday, of course. Bumper bank holiday crowds, and we'll be at Headingley for Leeds and Halifax, by the way. 11 a.m. our programme starts. The game, by the way, kicks off 11:30, and I'm sure Leeds will get a big welcome home, the fact that they're in the cup final. Loughlin puts the pass into Cooper. That's probably his best pass all afternoon. St Helens on the charge here, looking for the six that would level this up. Vivas to Rapati. Rapati to Hunt. Hunt has got Riley outside him. The ball again went behind. And how often have St Helens thrown their chances away?
Deary me. It was Wigan in the first half where we saw there was too flat on this occasion there, but it wasn't the best pass, was it?
It actually took a flick off a Wigan hand because it's Saints' head and feed.
Well, that's a reason then. Let's apologise to that man. But it doesn't take away the fact that they bombed the chance.
Now then, what can Saints do here with Riley? Rapati from dummy half running alone, trying to get through a gap. There's nothing there. Wigan defending now, defending for their big league lives. Dwyer going on his own, and he's just held up. So close. Edwards just giving him a little facial rub there. Mann holding up the ball, still going Mann. Robinson on his back, he's hauled down. Desperate moments these for Wigan. Dannett with the charge, good defence, gets the ball away to Lyon, who drops it. Dig a big hole and let me jump in it.
Nightmare time. Always got to keep your wits about you. Lack of concentration has cost them dearly again.
Well, a tale of what might have been for St Helens last Saturday, and most certainly here today. Aitchison is taking some treatment from David Fever. As I say, they have got another match on Monday. Aitchison taking a bang in the mouth.
But what a demoralising effect it must have on this St Helens outfit. Time and time again, the approach work is superb. They make the break. The final pass goes astray. Ticking away inside their brain. What do they have to do? That's what they'll be thinking. The confidence is just leaking away from them.
It's also ticking away on the clock as well. Wigan 6 points ahead. It's a converted try, the gap, that's all. But how important that 6 points might be to Wigan come the end of this day. Aitchison. Let's get down the other end, he says. It's going to run dead, is it? It most certainly is.
Either way, good tactics. They have to wait now. Well, again, they take the tap. This time, it was Tommy Martin who was stood offside. Well, that's the second occasion they've got away with that.
Wigan have run this second half in terms of possession. And they turned around, remember, 9-6. They now lead 15-9. Here comes Loughlin again. Big collision with Mather. 30 metres from his own post is Loughlin. He picks himself up. Rapati's the dummy half. Here's Phil Vevers. He finds Joint. A bit of space now for Joint. Calls Sullivan inside him. Connolly with a great tackle.
Well, it's panic period now for Saints, isn't it? They've got to throw everything at them. Take the chance.
Rapati almost through the gap. Tried to get the pass away. Dermot picked it up.
It'll be a knock-on.
Second bounce, but I just wonder whose head and feet. It's going to be Saints' head and feet.
Yes, it's a knock-on by Dermot. You see the ball go backwards, or forward as we should say. Backwards to him, but it was a forward accordance with the referee, Russell Smith. Well, it's the last throw of the dice, perhaps.
In the last minute of normal time, plus stoppages. Loughlin, they have Lyon and Sullivan there. Couldn't get the ball away. Aitchison with the tackle. Lyon again. He finds Cooper, who finds Hunt. Wigan now tackling for all they are worth, but there is a break and daylight ahead here of Riley. Riley, can he go through a fire? No, a fire has been questioned in the past about his defence, but the defence of a fire today has been good. Mann. Remember that try-saving tackle earlier on in this second half. Cooper. Long ball, Rapati. Now then, they're loading up here. They have a man overlapping, but it's Joint inside, and Joint drops it. And Edwards knows how important that crunching tackle from Phil Clark is.
And it was a cruncher, but Joint should have held on to that. This is just like replay, replay, replay. Knock on, knock on, knock on.
Behind those posts that you can see are all the Wigan supporters who have trekked over here to Knowsley Road, and it is they who are celebrating at the moment, because they know that we're in stoppage time in this first half, in this second half.
It's been a professional performance from Wigan in the second half. They haven't had much possession. They really haven't had many chances, but they have not panicked. They realise the advantage of the big wind, work hard in the forwards, kick downfield, and wait for the mistake. They did, and the chance that came their way, they gleefully accepted.
The Wigan crowd are crying now for the final siren. They want the timekeepers to say enough is enough. We're in stoppage time, over a minute already. Dermot just picks himself up. Wigan in no hurry. Edwards will give that plenty of air to take St Helens back to their own post. That's going to run dead, but it eats up a few more vital seconds.
He won't mind. The true professional, Sean Edwards, kicked well away from David Lyon, made sure that Lyon couldn't get to it on the full.
Wigan on the brink of a vital win. And there's the final siren, John Dorahy. The pressure eases on him, the pressure eases on his team. The champions have won this big local derby against Saints. 15-9, a drop goal of all things from Martin of Fire leveled the scores. And then the try from the ex-Saint, Andy Platt, won the points for Wigan.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Tonight, the Premiership race reaches fever pitch as Leeds clash with Newcastle, live on Sky Sports. Both teams are challenging for a place in Europe, but will the strike force of Beardsley and Cole steal the show for the Magpies? Leeds v Newcastle, tonight at 7, live on Sky Sports.
To discover the real difference between the world's two leading soft drinks, we're implementing an anthropological study. Chimp A will be allowed nothing but a leading cola. Chimp B, nothing but Pepsi. The results are astounding. The chimp that drank a leading cola showed improvement in motor skills. The chimp that drank Pepsi, however, disappeared.
Hello? It's him.
When your dog is fit and enjoys life, it shows 5 ways. 1, bright eyes. 2, a glossy coat. 3, a healthy body. 4, strong teeth. And 5, vitality. All show how your dog stays fit 5 ways with PAL. PAL, help your best friend stay fit 5 ways.
Just talking about sensitive skin makes me go all blotchy. It may look fresh and smooth now, but if I can't use a normal moisturiser, what then? These days, I don't let it irritate me.
Oil of Ulay, hypoallergenic. Pure white, clinically proven to care for even the most sensitive skin. It moisturizes deep down whilst avoiding irritation.
After all, young-looking skin doesn't grow on trees.
Oil of Ulay hypoallergenic twice a day, because Ulay is young-looking skin.
Where'd you get the corn pops, Kev? Kevin, the pops. Great, I'm dying for Kellogg's corn pops and nappy features just sits there. Get a grip. Okay, I'll find them myself. I'll never find them. All that crunchy popcorn taste, you always want more. I have to babysit the alien child who can't talk and tell me where the pops are. Oh, what an angel.
Kellogg's corn pops as part of this nutritious breakfast.
I've got to have my pops.
This one's as daft as your auntie. Me auntie Pam? No way. Tuesdays you're supposed to eat everything raw. Then Wednesdays is proteins and polyunsaturates. I sound horrible. Thursdays is fibre day. And then Friday, anything you like, as long as it's boiled. Mind you, it does have one thing going for it. Oh, yeah. What's that then? Dairy products all weekend. Oh, brilliant, isn't it?
Cadbury's Dairy Milk.
Adam! Don't do it!
One too many and you might turn Bertie.
The Vauxhall Corsa. Please remember, it's only a car.
Night, night, love.
Seize the day.
That's the way it's finished. Wigan have won by 15 points to 9. An absolutely vital victory for them here in the big Good Friday fixture against their local rival St Helens. It was 9-6 half-time. Second half belonged to the champions. And the pressure has lifted, I wonder, on their coach John Dorahy.
John, what's the feeling after that victory? Relief?
Bill, I would say it's one for the good guys, to be honest. I thought that team that played out there today certainly played with the character that they're renowned for, and you know, you've got to take your hat off to some of the individuals too. I thought Martin O'Fire was outstanding out there today. He dropped that goal, of course, which brought it to evens, but he made probably the most important tackle in the game, and that was to stop a try there late in the match. And then Andy Platt with the try that sealed it for you, which is a great piece of finishing. Yeah, it was, and you know, Andy Platt tried hard there today. It's his last match here on Knowsley Road, and I think he went out as a winner. His support play and his outstanding prop forward play was brilliant today. This halts, though, that succession of defeats. Do you think you can go on from here now? The guys were saying beforehand every game is a cup tie for you now. Well, it is, you know, it's backs against the wall stuff, but unfortunately, you know, after all the drama from the annual general meeting the other day, there's a lot of rumours and problems that, you know, people think are problems, but as far as the guys are concerned, all they have to do is do it on the park, and they did it, and you've got to take your hat off to them. But just how difficult is all this rumour and speculation that you've been speaking about? How difficult does that make your job? Well, it's difficult for the guys' point of view, because they have to focus on what's occurring on the park, and when they think things are happening off the park, well, of course, it's like your wife playing up, you know, bagging you all week. That plays a part in it. So, I mean, there's nothing different. Everyone's pulling in the same direction, as I heard Martin O'Fire say, and that's what we're after. You don't feel as though you're under pressure? Oh, look, pressure's only what you make, and I've said that all year. Expectations are extremely high here at Wigan, and you know, we've been to one final, we're going to another. We're still in the hunt for the championship, and we've had several players play for Great Britain again. And injuries aside, you know, it's been a pretty fair year, I would think. Warrington on Monday, that's going to be hard. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I think after today, the guys will go in with some sort of confidence, and I'm sure that given the rehabilitation, they should be ready for it. Thanks, Bill. John Dorahy, and there are the match facts. Both sides doing a lot of work. St Helens more tackling. 20 scrums, 12 of them to Wigan. 12-8 the penalties, 14-11 handling errors. It was Saints' first half, Wigan's second half. With a vengeance, Wigan, the champions, won it in that last 40 minutes. Now, John Dorahy indicating there that perhaps all not hunky-dory behind the scenes, Steve-O, at Central Park, despite the fact that they've been to a final and lost, that at Wembley, and they're in with a shout of the big league.
Well, they've won so many trophies, haven't they? People expect them to win, especially the Wigan fans. And, of course, John Dorahy came in at a time which was very hard. Big shoes to fill, John Money. And, of course, the situation has built up upon him, even though they've got to Wembley. A lot of the fans aren't happy with the way that Wigan have been playing. And to be fair, they haven't been hitting the straps as what we expected. But they're still in there, and they're still in the chance, as John said. But when you get someone appointed by the committee and said that Dean Bell is your assistant coach and your motivational coach, it gets a little bit hairy, doesn't it? I don't think I'd feel all that confident about it. It's a little bit like sort of someone saying, I'll give you a vote of confidence, and we all know what happens a couple of weeks after a vote of confidence. You normally get the sack. I hope that that's not the case with John Dorahy, but there are a few problems within the club. It's not the first club that has problems. Players do have a tendency to take things a little bit too far, and when they change tactics, a new coach, sometimes they say, I don't like it. And sometimes a coach says, well, if you don't like it, you've got to lump it. Well, some players don't like to lump it. So it's a problem. And I think that Wigan do have a problem.
Can I just say here and now that we won't give Steve